I wish I knew what it was. Oh, is it up? Am I back? I think I'm back. What I was saying, yeah. Hydrogen is about an 8-to-1 energy usage compared to just battery electric. Um, it's a nasty molecule. It's a teeny tiny molecule that leaks through things, and it's very difficult to what's the word? Very difficult to store. It also makes a mess of um, it also makes a mess of metal. It gets into the metal. The phrase is progressive hydrogen embrittlement, and it's a really awful issue. So yeah, hydrogen is good. It's better than diesel, but it has a huge ton of issues associated with it. It is not a magic bullet. If it was a magic bullet, I'd be all over it. I'd be like, yep, that's the future. But there are so many compromises with it that it's not really, sadly, it's not really practical. Or I would be all about that. Yeah, I mean, the thing is that you probably don't get A monks. I don't know how good you are at electricity, but an EV makes you redefine what a lot of electricity is. So you're talking about the constant power you need, sure, but your the amount of energy in a battery, a Tesla, whatever battery, is fucking insane. So I could run. So my house, I use 28 kilowatt hours a day. My house is way over double the UK average. Okay, I'm a high energy usage. I've got, I run. Say, I work on games. My computer is hammering along right now. I'm rendering everything. I use a lot of electricity. I say way over double. My car's battery will run my whole house for 3 days. It will run the aircon, the computers, everything for 3 days. The batteries in them are huge, but you don't realize this until you plug the car into, to a fast charger. So right now, let's have a look at my. Right now, I'm pulling just about 1 kilowatt at this particular second. The Tesla can charge at 250 kilowatts. So a Tesla charger can deliver 250 times the power my whole house is drawing. It's just a different level of power that you've never used right now. I mean, on average, my house pulls about 1.2 kilowatt hours an hour. 1.2 kilowatts. So it's about 28 kilowatts an hour. A day, which is high. A house is normally around 15, 14. So I'm about double the average for the UK because of what I do. So yeah, my point is the size of batteries in a Tesla. This isn't a truck. This isn't a tractor. It's just huge. It's enormous. And if you look at tractors with hookups and things, they don't use that much power. I mean, a lot of torque, but not a lot of power because they're not spinning very fast. And electric motors are really, really efficient at low speed torque. Whereas where it's not efficient at low speed torque, diesels. Well, diesels are pretty good. Petrol, certainly not. But this is where it's hard to sort of compare the if you were to take an electric pickup truck and then look at its highway performance and then apply that to its off-road performance. So hauling stuff around a farm off-road at 10 miles an hour. That is where you'll charge the car at the end of the day, maybe, but you probably find yourself charging not very often. There is a guy. Oh, now hold on. What was it? Cheapest electric truck, I think. It's this guy. So this guy does a Where's your video? I thought I can just show you. This guy does he does electric bikes, but he bought this little electric truck for his you know, he's got a whatever it is, 50 acre. I have no idea how much he's got. And it's really good. Like it's really just brilliant. And it's really interesting. Yeah, he spent 2,000 but with all sorts of different bits and bobs. Yeah, he bought this little thing and he just said that, you know, it's just amazing. And he said, oh, but you know, you've only got a small battery, it's only got range. He goes, I only do 25 miles a day. I'm on my farm driving to somewhere to do something. I'm trying to find the actual YouTube because yeah, it's really good. But I think Micah Toll. I've no idea whether or not this would. Yeah, it's not this guy. Cheap pairs. And then he's put solar on it, and he goes, "I just don't." Yeah, there we go. You might find that interesting. Yeah, it's cheap. It's very cheap. $2,000. But yeah, again, it's not designed for hauling. It's not designed for highway. It's designed for a guy who would normally use a quad bike or something to do that, and now he's using this. But yeah, he put he's updated it with solar on it and all sorts of stuff. E-bike. Yeah, so he did a video on unboxing it. Definitely, it's about 10 million views unboxing I think, and it's really interesting. And then he bought an electric tuk tuk that is look at that little thing. Isn't that cool? But yeah, the thing is, people immediately go to like heavy machinery and highway driving, and it's like, yeah. So he's popped the solar panel thing. But yeah, Kaduki, you need to remind yourself if you're talking about people who drive trucks who tow stuff, that's 1% of people. Let's assume, for sake of argument, the Cybertruck can't pull for shit. Who cares? Let's say it can't pull. Hooray! 99% of people are still just fine. The amount of people that tow stuff is so small and irrelevant. And there's no magic physics. If the Cybertruck does 500 miles of driving or 250 miles when towing, whatever the number is, your diesel truck does exactly the same. There's no magic physics. If you are halving the range on an EV, you're halving the range on an ICE. But people talk about this like, I mean, you get a few people towing caravans and stuff in the summer, but like, and you know, people will tow a car to a racetrack, but like, we're already into the realms of this is pretty rare. But yeah, people seem to think that it's really common. It's just not. It's just, you know, one of those. Some people do absolutely sorry, I'm just doing things. They do absolutely tow, sure, but I ain't very many. And in that case, just, you know, stick with the diesel car. The other thing is I've seen people going, yeah, again, in the UK, we have specific laws on like how long you're supposed to drive for. Because people are going, oh, I need to do 500 miles on my motorbike and stop and fill up and do it again. I'm like, you do realize that's illegal, right? Yeah, I think the UK, you are supposed to take a break every hour, and I think you're legally required to take one every 2 hours. I think there's numbers. I might be wrong on those. Don't quote me. So you see people going, oh, I need to, you know, overnight it with my family. Like, that's A, illegal, and B, really unsafe. But yeah, Kaduki, I just don't care about the towing argument. I have never in my life, in I don't know how long I've been driving now, 30 years of driving, never had to tow anything. I know a friend with a caravan. He uses it twice a year. And at that point, if you have your electric car for 363 days a year, it's fine. for 2 days a year. It's a pain in the ass, and you got to charge it up twice as much. Well, then you do. The real problem I have with towing is there's very few public chargers set up to really allow you to pull in and charge. So it's quite hard to pull in with a caravan and charge the car. That's the real issue right now. You know, I've no idea what this used to look like. Did it look like this? I don't think it did, but it's quite cool. But yeah, as I said, I absolutely love my Tesla. It is a wonderful, wonderful car, and I am very, very, very happy with it. Like really, really, really happy. And if I wasn't happy with it, I would absolutely say, let's call this Roll One UV. But I don't tow. If I towed a lot, I think I might hate my life. Just quite, yeah, full stop. To be quite honest. Now what's this called? Timing and offset. Well, if I didn't love my Tesla, I promise you, you would be knowing about it now. I would be bitching, but it's really good. I've got a Zero. I love that too. Yeah, my Zero electric motorbike made me feel like a learner rider again. It's just wonderful. It's so enjoyable to ride compared to all my petrol bikes, which I've had loads. UV, and I see some people going, "Oh, I'll never drive an electric bike. You know, it has no soul." I was like, "Well, first of all, dude, neither is your petrol bike. It doesn't have any fucking soul. What are you talking about?" And then I'd say to them, "All right, yeah, fair enough. You know, which bike have you driven?" Oh, I would never drive one. I was like, well, then you don't really have an opinion as far as I'm concerned. Like, you know, if you drive one and you hate it, sure, you know, I can understand that. That it's not for everyone. Some people like V twins, some people like all sorts. But if you wrong one. I have the Model 3 Performance for reasons of I test drove it and I'm like, oh my god, this thing is the best thing I've ever driven in my life. What the hell? Do I have an easy picture to get out of it? I bet I don't. Oh, I mucked you. Well, this is the thing. My Ninja, the 0 to 60 on my Ninja is not very different to the 0 to 60 on my Tesla. That is the that is a lot of it. It's I took a friend out in it. I've taken loads of petrol heads out in it, and it's quite funny because you do get the same comment. But a friend of mine, he went again. It's the usual. Holy shit! That's not just fast. That's you know crazy fast. Um, and then I took another friend out, and he said that's not just fast. He goes, that's not just car fast. He goes, that's bike fast. So yeah, I've got a Model 3 Performance. I had it wrapped because I, I I really like it. So yeah, that's my car. It's not quite as clean as it is in this picture here now, but it is a wonderful, wonderful car. Really, really good. And my god, and it that car in that wrap turns more heads than my Impreza. Copy image address. There's my Scooby. That's when I went for my test drive, and then I came away from my test drive going, oh, oh no, better. But yeah, it's great. If you really like the sound of a car, that's fine. That ain't gonna replace that. But so I've been chatting with this, and I think I've worked it out, and I'd love to see some psychologists actually tell me a bit more about this. But all of us, as children, we would have associated a fast car with a loud noise. So if you hear a Ferrari, sounds like a Ferrari, and it's a Ferrari. So you associate brum 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 loud noises with fast vehicles. This has been our whole life. It is not an inherent association. It is one that's been built up over marketing and films and this and that and this and that. With the next generation of children, they are not going to have that association. They are going to associate fast cars with electric, with silence, because the fast cars now are no longer the noisy ones. So this obsession with loud car engines is likely to disappear because. But the thing is, I agree with you because I mean, bear in mind, I used to do this for a living, is making car engines. So I know what you're saying, but do you like them because of what they sound like, or do you like them because of the association? Do you like them because your whole life you have lusted after, like a Plymouth Roadrunner, a huge carbureted V8, a Harley Davidson? Is it the sound itself? Is it actually the sound? Or is it that as a child you knew that the cool cars sounded like that? Now, I think it's the latter. I don't think it is an inherently cool noise. I think it is a childhood association with what is a cool car. Now, again, I don't have any sort of scientific knowledge to back this up. But is it the actual? What you would have to do, you see, is you would have to. Well, actually, no. I unfortunately I can prove it wrong anecdotally because I have a flat four, which is a beautiful sounding engine with a 3.5-inch catback. I have a whacking great exhaust to my Impreza. It sounds great. Do the kids care? Do they fuck? They don't care. They like the Tesla. They want to go quick in the Tesla. They want to see the self-driving on the Tesla. They don't care about the flat four sound because that is not their they're beginning to associate for the last whatever it is 8 or 10 years. Teslas have been the desirable cars, so the kids are now beginning to associate the desirableness with the Tesla. I'll say the Tesla noise, but the electric whir. But again, I'd love to see some. What have I done? It's all right. Right. I'd love to see some studies on this about the association of loud car engines and what the future will be. But yeah, the thing is, again, I do stuff at the local arcade. I go in there and I love the noise. The arcade is this wall of noise. It's wonderful. Oh, it's the sound of my childhood. And the amount of kids that go in, you just see them slam their hands over their ears because they do not like that loud noise. I love the sound of top fuel dragsters, carbureted V8s. Oh, to me that's fantastic. But to kids, not so much. They don't really like it. And I honestly don't think that the current love for loud car engines is going to last very much longer at all. Like, because you still get the kids on their little scooters. Here's the example. So a scooter, a loud scooter. That's not a good noise, is it? Like, oh yeah, listen to that two-stroke. But if you're a child, that is the closest that you can get to having a V8 sound or a flat four sound or a V-twin sound. So I think it's more to do with that, to be honest. because that's not a good sound in itself, but it's the closest you can get to a good sound. So that's the desirableness. And I test drove an Energica Rebel, which is an electric bike, and that is a bike aimed at the oh, I'm just going to set a bump map. That's a bike aimed at the sports bike rider. So my Zero, it is quite quiet. It's got a cool noise, a cool whine on the belt. The Rebel has straight cut gears, a noisy chain. It's noisy and loud. Yeah, that's my point. Are kids taping playing cards to their bike spokes because that sounds cool? No. Are they doing it because it sounds a little bit like a car engine? Yes. Because they want to sound like they've got a V8 or whatever in there. But the actual sound itself, it's not cool at all. It's awful. But yeah, I'm. This is purely. I have not done any research to see if this is a anything. But the fact I've done car engine audio my entire life. This has been my job for half of my career. Why? Is that a difference? Not so much. But yeah, I still love the sound of my Impreza. It's still a glorious sound, but it is it is on its way out, I'm afraid, just as something that people like that sort of sound. It's just not really a thing anymore. Just perhaps a good thing. I mean, I've had a number. I mean, I had my 1400 Ninja. I've got my V twin bike, but there's something particularly lovely about the Zero, about pulling up in just utter silence. Even more so if it's 4 a.m. It's really nice just it being completely and totally silent. Just whoosh. I worked on a lot of car games. I did Formula One games. I did Burnout. I did Colin McRae. I did a huge number of racing games. No idea what this is or why we were using it, but I'm just hooking stuff up without really engaging my brain too much. But yeah, so the psychology behind engine sounds has been something that I've had to look at professionally for quite a long time. And I find it interesting that people get, it's the phrase, there's no soul in an electric vehicle. I'm like, what are you talking about? Do you mean I like the loud brum brum noises? Just say, I like the loud brum brum noises. You don't need to start making out like it's some sort of religious experience to drive a loud car. I probably should have kept an on-screen counter on how many of these I've done. Not enough and too many all at once. And like I said, I took the Tesla to the racetrack, and it was interesting because it was the fastest and quickest car there. Nothing else was even close, which surprised me. Genuinely, I wasn't expecting that. Lots of people went out in it to sort of, they're like, can I have a go in the Tesla? Hey, absolutely. And then I said to them, yeah, tell you what, guys, we'll be back here in 5 years and 10 years and 20 years. And I'll be here in our electric cars and our and all of that. And someone's going to turn up in like a 1.4 liter Corsa, and you'll be like, "Oh my god, you've got a petrol car! Oh my god, can you take me out in it? Oh my god, I've forgotten how noisy it was." You'd be shouting again, "I've forgotten how noisy it is." and how loud it is and how much it smells, and we'll all be like, oh, it's so cool. So that's what's going to happen. We'll have this change. So that will become the weird one. Yeah, Henry, I looked at the five. I genuinely have considered the 595 a bath, but have you seen the range on it and the price? So the electric. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It is top fuel dragsters or something else. Wear earplugs. Oh yeah, I totally agree. Um, but yeah, that's not really on the road. Yeah, so the Abarths are brilliant little cars. They're brilliant. However, they start at 30 grand and go up. The range, it has a 42 kilowatt hour battery, so that's shit. Bear in mind, my motorbike is nearly half of that. The doesn't have a fast charger, 85 kilowatts. Tesla have done 250 for a decade, so it's expensive. It has a small battery. Forget 185 miles. You're looking at 150. Yeah, motorway 150 ish. And here's the worst bit: the 0 to 60 is awful. The 0 to 60 is what? Where is it? Um, it's like 6 seconds, 7 seconds, something like that. Like, so it's expensive. It has rubbish range, um, and it's not quick. So it really made me sad because I was like, oh yeah, now here we coming because I want a little car. Do love my Tesla, but it's too big. It's an American-sized car on a British road. I want a little teeny tiny, like my smart car, but electric and cool. And I was like, the Abarth might be that one, but that's it. It just feels like a token effort and expensive and crap battery. And I can forgive that. If it was expensive and not a great battery and not great range, sure. But you've got to give me 0 to 60 in 3 seconds. Oh, yeah, it has. Yeah, I'm not even going to talk about the fake car sounds. They're really not lined up. Oh, wow. I'm a terrible man. Oh, okay. I think it's just this first one that's not. Um, Maybe 4 to 5. I haven't done enough. I mean, the thing is, a lot of them I'm fixing materials. So when I fix a given material, all of the other objects using this material. I'll show you here. So I'm going to fix this particular one. Swirly. So when I fix this one, boink, they all fix. I am quite good though at um, talking and working. Can I get a different? Can I put? That goes up. Oh, that's all right. Mia, some of the noise generators on modern cars, the legally mandated ones, are horrible. As I said, I have a list of things I hate about the Tesla. I hate the windscreen wiper, um, uh, auto windscreen wiper stuff. It just doesn't work. I hate the reversing noise. I hate the indicator noise. But you need to remember, when I start with, I hate the indicator noise, you know how good a car it is. But yeah, again, why can't you pick a noise? Certainly with the Tesla. So the Tesla, I saw this described. So the Tesla is this insane car where my inside view has a picture of the Tesla, and you can color code it according to the outside. So inside the car, it looks the same color as the outside one. I can make fart noises come out of the speaker. I can make the car drive itself. Can I? At Christmas, I can change the indicator noise to be sleigh bells. Can I change the GPS voice? No. So it's this weird sort of hit and miss thing sometimes. I don't think Elon had as much input as everybody seems to think. I think he has the advantage that if he wanted something done, he had the power to get it done. I wish there was more of that. So there's stuff that I could do to the Tesla to improve it. What Kaduki? For example, I'd like to be able to schedule the Sentry. I want my Sentry to turn on at midnight and off at 5 a.m. I don't want to run the Sentry all the time. And I also don't want the Sentry to record, my neighbor walking past every morning. But I would like the Sentry on at night. Why is that not there? I can set the car, so I can say to it, I am going to be leaving at 7 o'clock every morning, make you nice and warm. Cool. So I can turn the schedule on, say be nice and warm. But I can't say to it, once. I can't say tomorrow morning, I'm leaving at 7, be done. I can only do it for an everyday thing. So there's some bizarre choices from from Tesla on various bits, and it's a shame that they aren't even better at what they're doing. They're pretty good. Like I said, I have overall been incredibly impressed, but I think there's more they could do that would improve things even more. What is this? And as I said, genuinely, really, honest to God, love the car to bits. I love my Tesla. My Impreza. I do love it, but it just does not spark joy in the same way that it necessarily used to. It is old. It has been superseded, which is a shame. And when I went on track, part of my track time was to decide whether or not I was going to keep the Impreza, but the Impreza has nothing on the Tesla. It's slower. It goes around corners less well, which blew my mind. Doesn't brake as well. Certainly doesn't accelerate as well. My entire track day cost me like 30 quid electricity. It would cost me nearly £200 in fuel. The insurance was better on the Tesla, on the Impreza, sorry, because it's 26 years old. And I was like, oh, tires are cheap on the Impreza, I guess. But there's no advantage left on the Impreza. Everything about the Impreza is not as good as the Tesla, which, it's 25 years newer. Of course, it should be this, should be the state of affairs. But I've always held the Impreza up as a car that will happily embarrass cars much more expensive than itself, which has always been true. Like it will hold its own around a racetrack with a GTR or something, and then I get my Mondeo looking fucking electric milk float, and suddenly, all right, yeah, the milk float's better. I guess this supposed to be orange. I don't remember what color a lot of this stuff was supposed to be. and see where I started to use the crack stuff. I'll be doing that more, but I'll be using decals rather than these lit materials. Oh, we're going to go crazy on the decals. I can't wait. You're very welcome, hey monks. Thanks for coming along. I'm sorry that you have to do so much driving. That doesn't sound like fun. That sounds horrible. But good to see you again. I plan to be streaming regularly on the Fridays. That's my plan for FortressCraft 2, and yeah, I will do my best to stick to that, assuming life doesn't throw a curveball as it sometimes does. And yeah, I hope you're all looking forward to FortressCraft 2 coming out. I know I am, but I have to. Unfortunately, you guys just have to wait. I actually have to draw it. I actually have to do it myself. You know, I don't remember how this worked. Yeah, I probably want that. Only the glow isn't working. Glow default to 1. Um, I haven't found a game that fills the same spot as FortressCraft either. Do try Riftbreaker. Riftbreaker is really good. It's sort of overhead. It's a bit simpler, but it's got the combination of logistics and tower defense. Mindustry is absolutely brilliant. I would say Mindustry is better than FortressCraft. Don't get me wrong, Mindustry looks like a big pile of shit. It looks awful, and that saddens me. But I reckon it's probably a better game overall. So yeah, do recommend Mindustry if you've not played that one. But it's one of those. It's like Vampire Survivors. It's great, but you do have to get over the graphics because they're not very good. But yeah, I said to people before, if there was a game like, if I didn't write FortressCraft, I would I would play the shit out of FortressCraft, and I would bitch at the dev until he wrote more stuff. Yeah, Mindustry, I'd say it's better. I'd say in almost every single aspect, Mindustry is better than FortressCraft, apart from how it looks, because it doesn't look very good. But Riftbreaker scratched the same itch. I really enjoyed Riftbreaker, so that was good. So yeah, I can recommend that one. I struggle to find any others. Um, Satisfactory was very pretty, but I didn't agree with a lot of its design decisions, unfortunately. I find Factorio more annoying than fun. My review of Mindustry is basically like Factorio, only not massively disappointing. Because I wanted to like Factorio, and I just didn't. Because obviously I write Fortress because I like this sort of game. You know that's why I write this sort of game. Um, but I'm hoping the fact that I won't be putting FortressCraft into the same horrific sales that the other one goes into, but I should be able to continue working it for a lot more. And I will be, as time goes on, I will be pushing more and more towards the patrons as well, because obviously, uh, repeatable revenue is the important part. And again, that's a sad fact of life. It's not just I don't need to sell the game; I need to sell the game repeatedly. I get this to look the way I want. I mean, I guess that will do. I don't remember how this looked. Did it just look like that before? That's nice though. That works really well. Yeah, that I should probably fix this one. So actually, I guess I can get rid of this one. Oh, that makes me a bit sad because we won't be using this, unfortunately. On Earth? What the hell? Don't understand what's going on. Which, happens a lot, but yeah, for Henry and Esme, I'm sorry that obviously we've stopped playing games in it, but right now my bedtime is 9 o'clock, and that will be like that for a while longer. So me staying up and playing computer games weirdly and sadly cannot happen. But I have been playing Riftbreaker by myself for an hour each evening, just wishing that not Riftbreaker, sorry, Shipbreaker, wishing it was multiplayer. Same thing with the other thing. This just doesn't seem to do what I want to do. Because again with Riftbreaker, I love Riftbreaker. It's great. I just wish it was multiplayer. I wish that so much. Why is this? That works fine. And this shader just goes. If I zoom right in, it's like the UVs are broken, but this one doesn't have the UVs. But we'll say I might end up keeping to these hours forever. We shall see. But it's weird because I get up at 5. I have my lunch at 9 in the morning, and then I have a snack at 2 because I'm hungry, and then my main meal at like 5, and then go to bed for 9. Weird. No, no, monks. Thank you for coming by. It also means obviously that it means I'm streaming to late night Americans and Australians, which I suspect they appreciate. So why doesn't this work? I'm really confused. So if I just pick should be lit, just a whatever. That's fine. So the UVs aren't knackered on this. Yet when I switch to this shader that I wrote, it is. If I remove I'm wait a minute, am I UV? Oh, hold on. This has got world space UVs for reasons of oh, I think it's because it's a plane. Oh, Bucky Cat. Yeah, I. What happened is I did a few other projects to try and make some money. The Patreon money has continued to accumulate. So at this point, I have got money I can spend on because I'm not making any money right now. I'm sitting here programming on a Friday morning. I'm not earning anything. But there's money in the Patreon account, so that means that I can continue to work on this. Hopefully, it makes money when it's done. But I never wanted to stop on FortressCraft. I had to. If the Patreon money had been 5 grand a month or so, I could have done it full time and hired people. It's not enough in of itself to live on right now. What it is like $12,000 a year. Um, I think I might just about pay for my mortgage, but I can't pay for my mortgage with Patreon money because obviously that's work money and things. I can solve this just by doing that. But that means it's no longer world space, which might not be a problem. But I may have just broken a whole bunch of other shaders. That is doing more what I wanted it to do, though, right? But it's also good for me to do these streams because I obviously get to talk with people who go, "Oh my god, I love the game! It's brilliant," and that makes me happy, obviously. And that's always very inspiring to get. Inspiring sounds like a very noble thing, but it's inspiring for me to get out of my ass, get out of bed, and actually program stuff. That's also good. I should probably tick that button now. Which bit of this is the ugly bit? Oh wow, there you go. Ooh, that's compressed texture. And that's uncompressed. That makes such a difference. I wonder if about high quality compression. Still pretty ick. I'll tell you what I'm going to do now is I'm going to close this because right now this texture testing is 0 bytes. So I'm going to close this, commit my changes so it's safe. Then I am going to go and then I'm going to switch to the latest version of Unity. This is Unity Beta, not Alpha. Ooh. And then while I do that, I'm just going to go and stuff something in my mouth and you can look at Dora. But yeah, I wish there were other games out there. As I said, Riftbreaker is excellent. Mindustry is sublime. I didn't think much of Factorio. I felt Satisfactory was. It had a lot of poor design decisions and it was a bit shallow, but oh, is it pretty? A lot of them, I don't know. Factorio was too surreal, I guess, to a degree. Satisfactory just you don't feel like you're actually on the planet. There was another one I did see coming out that looked really good, but what was it? But a lot of these, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna wait till it's actually out and the reviews are in before I go. Ooh, that looks good. There's another survival game, a little bit like FortressCraft, looks really good. Can't remember what it is. Wow, this is a big file. Outpost. Let's have a look while we're waiting for that. Outpost Infinity Siege. Oh, right. Yeah, well, this isn't coming out for another 6 months, so. Yeah. Tower Defense, FPS, and RTS. So, it's already beginning to sound like FortressCraft there. I'll get some food. I need to wait for this. Oh, I'll do a sec. I think, like, yeah, maybe. It's one of those that this could be brilliant, or not. Because I'm looking at this going, oh god, that looks like a. How can I put it? In FortressCraft, I try wherever possible not to make everything a ball ache, to make it fun and interesting. That looks super cool and super awesome, and that looks like a pain in my ass. That doesn't look fun. That looks like, cool, I'm doing this. Now I need to go to the edit mode and put, oh. Maybe. That does look super cool. Like, don't get me wrong, that looks freaking awesome. Pretty sure I've got that asset pack. So we'll see. We'll see. It is. Oh, I should say it is on my wish list. It wasn't. It is now. Maybe. A lot of the problem is you got all this amazing looking stuff, and then the game can only draw 20 or 30. Whereas FortressCraft, because of the nature of the game, because the way I programmed it, I wish I got that asset. Oh, look, 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 do you recognise those? Look, they're the glow pods. But yeah, using the same asset packs I'm using for some stuff. I was like, what? What is this? Like, they're reviewing something else. Right, okay. So yeah, we'll see. This one interests me in a number of. In fact, I look at there's a lot of asset packs in there that I recommend. I recognize. So I want some more. I do want some more games in this genre, and we will see. But I'm not holding my breath because this has scope to be brilliant and scope to be awful. Oh, it's Chinese. I see. Okay, have some money behind it. Because I played. Yeah. No, maybe they're not the glow pods. Maybe there's a lot of mobs there, so maybe we'll see. This looks like Riftbreaker, but yeah, that there's some cool ass shit going on there. So I suspect I will give it a try, even if I hate it. Um, we'll see. That does look cool. That does, but it's not about trailers. It's about the game. Right. So I am going to start to import into Unity Beta. So hopefully some of the issues I've been having will disappear, and I will start that, and I will leave you for a couple of minutes with Dora. Oh, there's her back feet. Oh, bless her. I'll just start the import. Hopefully it shouldn't take too long. I paid enough money for the CPU. And this should hopefully fix all sorts of bits and bobs. This is now a beta, not an alpha. Quite why they're releasing the beta 2 months into the year is beyond me. Running build program, checking APIs, running back end, compiling scripts. Come on, start the import process. I might need to click on a few things, you see. Loading initial domain with user as. Very good. And it finds an error at pop saying, "Do you want to continue?" It's like, "Yeah." Oh, well, in fact, it's import. Right. I'll be back in a bit. You can look at Dora, and then we will see. All right. No, it's just started the import process. Right. Okay. So I shall be back in a minute. Stay there. Stop biting me. course she moved. Of course she did. Well, that imported fine. So I will commit the update to commit early, commit often. Dora, you're drawing public in the other direction? No. Okay. I have a delicious cheese and pickle sandwich. But I have got quite a lot of these done today. But I've probably got another month of ink searching. It's not been any fun at all, let's be honest. Right. So I've got about another hour, give or take. Wow. This is a. Oh my god. Wow. I, I hate this because I report the bug. How does it happen? This is the first time. What happened? The editor crashed. The that trace is quite complete. What annoys me is they then start expecting me to act like QA. Like, dude, you have a stat trace, right? You fix it. Uh, but sometimes I've had them come up to me going, "Can you give us any more data?" I'm like, "No." And they go, "Oh, we can't do anything." I'm like, "Fix your logging then." It might, excuse me, it might be I've just broken it. Rolling back is virtually impossible, and that this is the end of the stream. But I was expecting it to be better. Oh, 100%. Gonna be the same. Again, I'm not. Well, this might literally be the end of the stream at this point because I might have to just wait for them to shove out another patch, which I think is Tuesday. Rolling back in Unity, it's possible, but it's awkward, should we say? But it's when it tries to. There you go. It's when something comes on screen. What bug? How often does it happen? Always. Title: Unity crashes with. Well, this will be the end of the stream then. As soon as I report. When I spin the camera around in the editor, when it draws something, Unity crashes immediately. Uh, um, I have no context or idea what is crashing, and I can't attach the game as it's like 60 gigabytes. This is they're like, why not attach a project? I'm like, how about no? I'm not actually doing that here, am I? I'm not. Is that uploading? Cool. Well, that will be the end of the stream because Unity, I'm afraid, because I would need to roll it back, and by the time I've done that and then roll it, so that will do. So thank you everyone for tuning in. Thank you especially to the Patreons who have popped by. I will be streaming this next Friday. If it's still broken next Friday, then I will have to roll back. But I really don't want to do that unless I have to. So yeah, welcome to the roll back. So yeah, that's disappointing. But we will be back and I will keep on top of things. And I will see you guys I'll see you guys next week. Do I want to say goodbye? Dora says